Norfolk Southern's intermodal franchise today is the result of investments we have made over more than 30 years. We have strategically built intermodal terminals near most of the major population centers in the eastern half of the country, with arteries of routes that connect them to each other cleared for double-stack containers. We have invested in deep relationships with all the major East Coast container ports and with railroads that serve the western half of the country, Canada, and Mexico. Together, these investments form the building blocks of a powerful intermodal franchise, which has grown over 2 times faster than the truck market between 2000 and 2018 and is poised to repeat that feat over the next decade. Chicago is the nation's largest freight hub. It is the continent's main interchange point between Eastern, Western, and Canadian railroads. 30% of all freight trains and 50% of intermodal trains interchange through the city, and it is the heart of Norfolk Southern's intermodal franchise. Norfolk Southern has 6 major facilities in Chicago that serve intermodal. 4 are intermodal terminals that use cranes to lift containers and trailers to move them between trains and trucks. And 2 are flat switching yards that support the classification and block swapping of intermodal traffic to and from our partner railroads. The 4 intermodal terminals, Landers, Calumet, 63rd Street, and 47th Street, together perform more than 1.4 million lifts per year, serving over 28 destinations. In the past decade, we have invested over $300 million into our Chicago intermodal terminals, and we are continuing to build for growth. Our terminals are the front lines of the battle to win flexible freight that moves by truck today, but can be moved more safely, efficiently, and sustainably by rail tomorrow. The 47th Street Terminal is the core of Norfolk Southern's intermodal operations in Chicago. It is the busiest terminal on our network and critical to converting freight from the highway. Covering 150 acres, 47th Street is a complex factory with a clear purpose: to move our customers' freight safely, reliably, and efficiently. And like any factory, there are hundreds of pieces of equipment at 47th Street and over 240 professionals that work to operate them. Each day, the terminal's success is determined by its ability to maintain a steady flow of containers through the factory, avoiding bottlenecks, managing variability, and overcoming disruptions. Short-haul truck drivers offer the service we call drayage, moving freight between intermodal terminals and the warehouses of our customers. Working on behalf of Norfolk Southern's channel partners, these dray carriers serve our customers by moving boxes in and out of the terminal through automated gates. Overseen by our experienced gate clerks, 47th Street is one of 9 NS terminals with automated gate technology, which provides near real-time imagery of inbound and outbound containers. This eliminates paperwork and saves precious minutes of time per trip for dray carriers. Drivers enter the terminal through 8 in-gate lanes, where they check in at self-service kiosks and can utilize Norfolk Southern's mobile app, Express NS Plus, to further reduce paperwork and speed up their trip. To leave the terminal, there are 4 out-gate lanes that allow for a seamless exit from the facility onto Chicago's 51st Street, adjacent to Interstate Highway 90. There are 1,700 parking spots on the terminal, where containers, trailers, and chassis are stored while waiting for a train or for a pickup by a dray carrier. With thousands of drivers calling on this facility every day, it is imperative that parking lots are well maintained with good organization, paving, striping, and signage to ensure safe and efficient movement every day. 12 cranes are operated at 47th Street. There are 3 types of cranes here: overheads, side loaders, and reach stackers. The overhead cranes here are 65 feet wide and span 2 tracks at a time, with enough space for a truck to drive underneath them beside the track. They can load and unload trains quickly and efficiently, but are not highly maneuverable. All 5 overheads at 47th Street are low-emission diesel-electric hybrid cranes, newly purchased in 2021. Side loaders are similar to forklifts. 47th Street has 4 of them. They are nimble enough to be maneuvered into tight areas, like where pad tracks curve at each end. They are used to quickly pick off the most time-sensitive containers from arriving trains to speed up drivers that are already at the terminal waiting for their pickups. Finally, there are 3 reach stackers. These machines are almost as nimble as side loaders, and they provide flexibility with their ability to reach over a track or a parked chassis. But they can lift only containers, not trailers, so cannot be used in all situations. All 12 machines are maintained and repaired by our mechanics at the main power shop, constructed in 2019 and located at the center of the terminal to provide ready access for cranes needing attention. 48 Hostler trucks move containers from one area to another on the facility. Technology on board these Hostlers is critical to tracking movements to maintain accurate inventory and position reporting. When an inbound train arrives, Hostlers locate chassis next to the track and position them for unloading. Once cranes place containers on those chassis, Hostlers clear the trackside area by shuttling units to designated parking areas. These Hostlers receive work orders from a load planner in the Intermodal office building, who identifies specific units to be retrieved and placed in optimal order for the outbound train. For departing trains, Hostlers perform the same work in reverse, shuttling units from inbound freight parking areas to trackside, where they can be loaded on car by the cranes. The office building, located on the north side of the terminal by the in-gate, houses staff that support, plan, and tactically adjust the activity on the terminal, including planning the movement of containers, guiding truckers, and managing the work of transportation crews. 47th Street has a complex track layout which interacts with high-speed commuter trains operated by Chicago's Metra Transit Agency and by Amtrak. Freight trains arrive, depart, and perform switch moves at 47th Street from Norfolk Southern's main line to the north and south. Switching activity must be coordinated around the schedules of passenger trains, which take priority. The east side of the terminal, called the 5-5 side, has 6 pad tracks between 1,900 and 3,500 feet long, where cranes can reach containers on railcars. There are also 7 support tracks that are used to build trains and store cars while they're waiting for the next step in their process. The west side of the terminal, the 5-1 side, has 7 pad tracks between 2,400 and 3,400 feet long, and 7 support tracks, as well as tracks where mechanics work on repairing bad order cars and fueling locomotives. The Echo Y that runs along the southern end of the terminal connects the 2 sides, facilitates turning locomotives, and handles long trains that need to use both sides of the terminal. Norfolk Southern has invested $130 million in 47th Street over the past decade in land, grading, lighting, paving, tracks, cranes, technology, and other parts of our factory. Our future here involves even more investment as we seek to optimize the flow of freight through the terminal. The future of 47th Street is a terminal that can handle vastly more freight safely, reliably, efficiently, and sustainably. It is one of Norfolk Southern's most important factories, where we create the service product required to win freight from the highway.